Hey y'all, it's me again, Valerie, and welcome back to my yarn room. Yay! Okay, I said I was going to come on here today and show y'all how to do the pocket. If you want a pocket. If you don't, continue with the thicket stitch. And, yep, just like the back panel, the front two panels go for the same amount of rows that you did on the back panel. Now, like I said yesterday, mine is for a large and I didn't want it to come down too long, so I did 58 rows. If you wanted yours longer, by all means, make it longer, but your front panel has to be the same amount of rows as your back panel. Otherwise, it's going to be kind of cockeyed. Want to be this long, want to be this long. So, you want them to be equal. Okay. I feel like I got a hair on my hand, but I don't think I do. Alright. The way I'm going to do the pocket. Now, y'all forgive me because this is all trial and error. Okay? I'm going to put my hook in. And I'm going to start with the thicket stitch. So, I'm going to go in the first one. And I'm going to do... I don't know why I'm having such a problem with my hook staying on my yarn. I'm going to start with my thicket stitch, okay? So in the first one I did a single and a double. Alright, so, well, I was going to yarn over. I'm going to skip the next one and go into the next one. And do another one. And see, according to my notes, you do that 4 times. So, here's another one. And one more. Okay, now, in the next one, I'm going to go into, see, I'm still keeping with the pattern of skipping one. Going into the next one, and I'm going to do a single crochet. Okay? Then, I'm going to chain 19. $17, $18, $19. Okay. With my chain still on my hook, that way it don't turn on me. I'm going to come down here. I'm not counting that one. So I'm going to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. Okay, and in that 20th stitch, which would be a single crochet, I'm going to put my hook in, and I'm going to do a single crochet, and then I'm going to do a double crochet. And I'm going to continue that pattern to the end. And remember, on the end, we only put a single. Now, I would like to invite anybody who hasn't already to hit that subscribe. When you do, give us a thumbs up. Y'all thought I wasn't going to be able to do it in crochet. Share if you can. And leave me a comment. Alright, we're almost there. Like I said, this is a trial and error kind of cardigan. I'm going to chain 1. Okay, I'm going to turn my work. Now, going back this way, you'll notice that your chain is on the back side. Well, I personally want it on the back side because I'm going to work in the bumps. Alright, and I'm going to start over here, and I'm going to start with my pattern. I don't know why, but my hands is kind of shaky today. I don't know if I'm nervous about something, or if I've just drank too much coffee, or I don't know what's going on. Oh, Lordy, we're almost at the chain. And I gotta pull some more yarn out. There we go. Alright. Alright, so let's go in this one and do the pattern. Because we're not skipping any on the pattern. This row here is completely the pattern. Okay, so you skip the next one. And then you go into the bump on the back. Well, I was going to do a double. And you just continue with your pattern. And say, when you get it all the way across, they should line up with the ones below. Alright, so skip. Go into the next one. Alright, y'all get the idea, right? And you notice how my stitches is lining up because I got the thing going that way, right there, right there, right there, right there, right there, right there, right there. But those little, I don't know, pattern pieces, I guess, the stitch design. You should have the same amount of number on this chain row that you do on the bottom row. So if you want, you can go by and count them. Okay, so this one don't count because it's like right here. Well, I guess it would. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. But that's how you do that. That's the pocket. Okay, now, I will be right back, and we'll discuss the sleeve. Okay. Alright, before I get started on the sleeve, okay, I went all the way across the chain row, and I put a single and a double in every other stitch. That was my last one in the chain row. So then, right here where I did that single, I went straight into it and put a single and a double. And then you go into the next single, skipping that double, and put a single and a double. Anyway, I've already pre-counted mine. If you want to, you can put stitch markers where you need to do your space. But then, after this row, you just continue with the thicket stitch the rest of the way up, putting a single and a double in every other row for, like I said, 58 rows. Okay, now, I'll be right back to discuss the sleeve. Okay, now, this is my sleeve, and you'll notice that my ribbing is smaller than the sides of my sleeve, on both sides. Okay, the reason why is because, well, my wrist is smaller than my arm. So, the way I did this, it's the exact same pattern that we've been doing for the back panel, for the two front panels. It's done the exact same way. Okay. The exact same number of rows on the ribbing. Then you put along the side of the ribbing your single crochet row to start your thicket stitch. According to my pattern now, I have my cuff, the ribbing for the cuff. I did 25 rows. Now, I have pretty small wrists. If you need yours bigger, do more rows. But here's the tricky part. You need that row of single crochet along the edge to be more than what you've been doing. So, the way I did it, and I don't know the count for any other rows or any other size than my size. Like I said, I did my ribbing 25 rows. Then I started with my row of single crochet to do my thicket stitch. In my first one, I did one single crochet. Then I did 2 single crochets in every single stitch for 15 stitches. Then the next one I did 1 single crochet. Then in the next 15 stitches, I did 2 single crochets in each one. And in the next stitch, I did 1 single crochet. And then for the remainder, I did 2 single crochets in each stitch. That totaled me at 47 stitches. So I went from 25 rows here to 47 stitches here, because I wanted my sleeves kind of loose so that I could wear garments under it and it not bunch up. But whatever count you come up with for your size, you need that row of single crochets to be an odd number, so that this pattern will work for it. And that's all it is for the sleeves. Now, my sleeves, I only did the thicket stitch for 45 rows. Because my back panel, when I sew the front panels to it, it's going to kind of drape off of my shoulder a little bit. So I didn't want my sleeves to be all bunched up down here at my wrist because they were too long. I took my measuring tape and I measured from where I wanted my sleeve to lay, where I wanted my cuff here at the end of the sleeve to lay. And I measured up my arm all the way to where my back panel and front panels was going to rest on the outside of my arm, not on the inside near my pit, the outside. And then I started measuring my garment from the cuff all the way to the end until I got it to where it was the same size as what I needed on my arm. Okay, so that's how you do the sleeves. But if you don't put enough single crochets right here, it's not going to be wide enough to be loose enough to where if you wear a garment under it, it's not going to stretch real far. It'll stretch out because it'll be too tight. You want it a little bit big because, like I said, your wrist is usually smaller than the top part of your arm and on up. Okay, and that's how I do my sleeves. And honestly, my sleeves are pretty wide. Let me unfold this so that I can show you what I'm talking about. Okay, my sleeve goes from here all the way to here. And what we're going to do with the sleeve, we're going to drape it over our arm. And we're going to sew these two sides together. Okay. And then we're going to sew it all the way up the sides. And then the seam of putting it together will be on the bottom side of your arm. It's just hard. Excuse me. Joys of COPD. It's hard for me to show every little detail because I don't have enough room between my surface and my camera. I need to get better equipment. I'm working on it. I'm working on it. I'm working on it. That way I can have better room to show every single aspect. Alright. That's going to be all for today. I will come back on here tomorrow and show y'all how to, if you put a pocket in, or a pocket hole, I will come back on here tomorrow and show you how to put your pocket on the inside of your garment. And I'm going to put on the outside of my garment, I'm going to put a flap so that I can button it, because otherwise if you put anything in your pocket, it's going to pull down and it defeats the purpose of the invisible pocket. The way I'm doing it, it's not completely invisible because it's going to have the flap on it, but it's still going to be real cute. Alright, so I will meet you back here in the next one for another grand adventure right here in Val's Yarn Room. And don't forget the yay! Alright, I love each and every single one of y'all to pieces. Do something nice for somebody, even if it's just a smile. Alright, bye y'all.